So Amaya and I like we've been really close for well over a decade at this point. And it is a weekly engagement that we have, and for a long time, even before Lady Boss, we would get together and just kick a thought around. And I don't even, you know how you're in those conversations where you don't even like know when it happened, but there's this moment that's like, wait, stop. What did you just say? And it was when she said habits are devious. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I used to love the show, and they canceled it after 3 seasons. I couldn't figure out why. It was so good. Devious Maids. So are you ready today to talk about devious habits? All right. So if you have the handout, and Bree, I'm going to ask you again, if anybody would come in, would you reshare the thank you for owning that one? So habits are devious, and really the conversation is all about identity, ego, and then what the goddess, I'm sorry, that's what I call Amaya. You might hear me call her coach or the goddess. She lives in all of those frameworks for me. And so she talked about sourced clearing. So I'm going to kick us off with a question here. Are you living from a habit or from a choice? Right? So I want you to really engage in this, not so much as a workshop, even though you have the handout and everything, but an inquiry into yourself, like really looking as we go on. So, uh, Amaya, you want to kick us off with what you said and just expand on that?
Sure, although you'll have to remind me because I've slept a couple times since then. But I mean, I know we were talking about what it takes to effectively navigate the world today, right? And the term effectively navigate, because everybody here can navigate because you're here, you're alive, you're surviving, and you have enough space to do something besides survive, right? Because when you're in survival, there's not much else other than survival that you have space for. But the thing about habits, right, is that the question on the first slide, as much as I live in intention, I will say the answer to that question for me is both, right? There are things that once I do it once or twice and I like the results, or I'm like, oh, this is a good thing to do, it goes into my unconscious. It becomes a habit. Even if I chose it first, it still becomes a habit. And the thing about habits, if I'm not constantly assessing them and going, is this helping me? Is this hurting me? Or is this helping me? Or is this just, it may not be hurting me, but it may not be helping me either. We can have chosen ways of being and doing that we chose, that we stopped choosing, that become default, that no longer serve us. Right? That was part of the conversation. The
Yeah.
other part is to navigate this world effectively, what are your habits in doing that? What are the things that you automatically go to internally to deal with the world as we know it today?
And are you even aware that those are things that you are relating to like it's you, right? Like over time, you do something habitually and without assessing whether or not this thing is serving you or limiting you, right? And I have spoken to so many people that they're aware of the work that they're supposed to bring to the world. They're aware of what it takes to do it. And now this habitual thing is there, this thing called me. This is who I am. This is what I like, what I don't like. And there's an actual belief that you're fixed that way,
Hmm.
right? And it's interesting how it comes about, and starts wearing your name, and other people start tagging you with it. Oh, that person, really they think their calling is public speaking. They never really speak above a whisper. They're shy. They're this, they're that. And then now to undo that habit, that fixed way of being, this person is hiring, a speaker's coach and taking courses, or, whatever it is, to try and remedy something that got created, and rooted, as if you actually were born that way. I used to be, there's a personal development company that I participated with for a number of years. It's called Landmark Worldwide. And they would always say this same thing, like, "Oh, when you were born, and they didn't hand you to your mother and say, 'Here's your shy, introverted little baby,'" like, no, none of that was true. You just start to get labeled,
Yeah.
right? And it's coming through from things that you habitually do.
Mhm.
So the disguise, the most devious part of it all, is that it owns your face, your voice,
Mhm.
right? Your identity, and you can't really see yourself beyond it, right? And I'm here to tell you from a neural perspective that you begin to build these neural circuits, and they're connecting and all of that, right? And it's just the way you are wired and fired and firing. That's it. Anything else about that, Amaya?
Um, no, I mean, let me share the example I gave about Jack as well. So when we were talking, so I used to be involved with a gentleman when I was in Arizona for almost 17 years who, SWAT, police, military. He was an aviator. I mean, like all the things. Like this man, it wasn't what he did, it was who he was. He was a warrior, period, right?
That's why I called him Jack
Right. We
Bauer,
call him Jack Bauer.
24.
That's right. But I'm telling you, this would make me nuts. Although I respected it, we'd be watching TV, and he would start with his uh, weapons, and there was no bullets, there's nothing in the weapons, but he is going through all these machinations, right? And it's so fast. It is so freaking fast. It's all muscle memory. And I didn't necessarily appreciate it when I was trying to watch a movie, but it was all muscle memory, and he did it all the time to the point where he didn't have to think. Now, I would go with him to the gun range. He was so fast, they thought he was on fully auto. Gun range facilitators loved when other people would talk smack because they'd be like, let's do a head to head. And it was he was just so fast, but it was all muscle memory because he was very clear. He's like, look, you get into a firefight, you cannot, you absolutely will not make it out if you have to think of everything you need to do to protect yourself. So all his weapons, and we would go around the house peeking behind stuff, and it was really fascinating. He was a great trainer, but he did all this from a muscle memory standpoint so that when the stuff hit the fan, like it does in life, right? He just went to work. He didn't have to think about that piece of it. He could use his brain for everything else. So when we are going through stuff, and we were specifically talking about how to navigate the world today, right? With all the fear porn. I mean, look, we got an alien invasion with the hantavirus. Like we got stuff, right? Murder hornets probably again. I mean, murder mosquito, like all the things, right? So how do you navigate in that? Because it's always coming at you. What are your habits to navigate when the world circumstances are trying to take you somewhere else?
And here's the thing. You if you really like unpack that, it comes down to this question. What are you prepared to do?
Mm.
See, I know people right now that are believing and using faith, mindset mastery, whatever goal setting to achieve a couple of things: getting out of debt, accumulating wealth,
Mhm.
setting up legacy funds, and things like that, right? And
Mhm.
they are not prepared. They're not prepared to receive it. They're not prepared at all for any kind of miracle to show up. Least of all for their dream to come true.
Mhm.
Because the habit of you is not a habit of someone that can receive that thing that you desire. It just comes down to it. So when we were younger, we didn't realize the things that we were bringing to us had more to do with the frequency of our thoughts,
Mhm.
our energy, how lit up we were, right? And things would show up. Then you get older, you get more condensed into who you are, and this habitual thing you call me, my identity, my personality, and never realize that maybe that habitual way of being is not a match. It's not an alignment for what you want to attract.
Mhm.
I remember asking my daughter once, I said, Morgan, how much debt do you have? Why was I asking her that? Because she was a college student. I know what happens, right? It doesn't matter if you got a scholarship. It doesn't matter, like all the things that she had. It didn't matter. I know a credit card company or two showed up, right? I know you probably took out student loans or grants or something you did and you didn't have to. So I said, "How much debt do you have?" And she was like, "What makes you think I'm in debt?" Right? Because when my kids were growing up, I was a Dave Ramsey facilitator. So they
Mhm.
don't want to talk to me about money. And so she's like, "What makes you think blah blah blah?" And I said, "I'm just curious, kid. I just want to help you out." So what if I say I'm going to pay off all of your debts? What's that amount? She couldn't even tell me. And you got people waiting for a miracle to show up, waiting for debt to go away, waiting for wealth to arrive, but are not constituted around that in a habitual kind of way. Right? So, one of the things I want to offer you is this. I was thinking about this Mother's Day weekend, the things that my mother and my grandmother inspired in me, right? It was never about looking good. It was always about putting your best foot forward so that you are in the pathway of your own destiny. My mother asked me once, she said, if destiny showed up today and had everything that you've been asking God for, are you sitting there telling me you're the person that would receive that? And I didn't appreciate that, right? Because I knew it had something to do with my hair that day and what I was wearing, and it was like, gosh, mom, right? But there was something to that question. And I
Mhm.
want to ask you sitting in your underwear right now, are you someone that's ready to receive all it is that you're asking for, all that you desire? If it showed up and knocked on your door right now, right, and said, I need you to sign for it, what signature are you going to put on there? Is it afraid you, brave you, courageous you, not enough you? Because those thoughts can no longer stand. We're in a time where it's just like, it's time to get off of it, everyone, to let it go. Stop your limiting beliefs by no longer believing them. Kick them out.
Yeah.
Kick them out.
Amen. I had to come off and just say, like,
Yeah.
feel
Tell
like I'm
them
at
you
church
don't
right
get to
now.
live in my head anymore. You're being evicted, right, Kathy?
Oh my gosh, this is perfect, ladies. Sometimes, I shouldn't say sometimes, all the time. God's hand. I just see it so much. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Super cool because I have taken steps forward to go in a certain direction twice before, I think at least. And found reasons, fears, whatever, to step back, go
Yep.
aside, blah, blah, blah. And, I had to work myself through a lot of prayer, a lot of whatever, a lot of working on. All that underlined that was wrong messages in my headspace
Yep.
that I decided were true. And you know what? You can't walk around saying, I'm not enough, because you know what? You are. Every
Yep.
time that comes up in any way, you have to seize on it and stop it 100%, because it's not who you are. And as long as you keep saying, I am, I rely on that. I am, the brain
Yep.
takes that in and believes it. No, no, I am enough.
Mhm.
This is a fabulous time. It
Yep.
is the time. It's
Yep.
great. Thank you for this conversation this morning. It's just
Thank you,
firming
sister.
it up.
Right?
Okay. Look, I'm gonna take a moment and everything to just say hallelujah, because that was like that was so good.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
And
thank you. No, and I'm
do you
circling
see how
myself
lit up
more.
she
Yeah,
is about that?
Yeah.
I am.
Right? Like that is what you want to broadcast out there into the universe. This is who I am. This is what I'm standing for. This is what I believe. And I'm not backing down.
Mhm.
Kathy, I love putting on like I won't back down, Tom Petty. You
I
can
love it.
stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. That's how I
That's
am
a
about
great way.
Lady Boss Alliance. I
Mhm.
was sharing with Amaya earlier. I have these moments because I'm a creator, I'm a generator, and I get
Mhm.
bored,
Yep.
and it's like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? And I can engage in those habits. Or I can say, guess what? How I feel has nothing to do with it. I am the co-founder and leader of a global community called Lady Boss Alliance. And we have the ultimate intent that people are loved and liberated. And the only thing that's creating the boredom is just some conversation about myself. Like, oh, I could be doing something else, or nobody's really paying attention, or where is this actually? I can start to tear it down,
Mhm.
right?
And do you find, Carrie, when I don't mean to apply this to you, but for me, those initial thoughts aren't, for me, I found were not really the challenge.
No.
Those were all of the fluff I'm telling myself.
Mhm.
And underneath it was, I'm not good enough. I'm
Mhm.
not smart enough. I'm blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we put a lot of fluff onto it to make it sound better.
Yep. Yep. Instead of looking at what it is and what that we need to bring,
Yeah,
right, into it through ourselves.
yeah.
Right? Like, what is it that I need to bring in? This is why so many people spend a lot of money on their way to making money. They think they have to buy something external,
Yeah.
right? In order to accomplish something. So, and here's an example. Like, I'm a DevX speaker, and I'm also part of the National Speakers Association. And we're doing this professional showcase in September where you actually have corporations and businesses. They come, they show up, and they listen to your 10-minute talk so
Mhm.
that you can, because they're looking to hire you, right? So
Mhm.
maybe, Coach, hers could be leadership, or something like that. And it's just this whole showcase, and I'm a part of that. And the founder of Devex asked me if I would come this past weekend and listen to people and just, are they stage ready? And I had three, and I'm listening to their talks. They were excellent talks, by the way. And they all stay within the time range. It was just amazing. But everything that was in the way was some sort of like, limiting belief. I could see it where it jumped out. It would alter the way that they begin to conduct themselves. And this is why you have some people, oh my gosh, the more polished you are, the more perfect you show up around me, the more I'm ready to call bull. Because what are you so afraid of that you put all of your time and energy into showing up that perfect?
Mm,
You can't even be with me. You're so busy trying to get it right. And that was my feedback for somebody specific. It's
mm,
like your talk is amazing, but your performance is distracting. No one's buying that anymore.
mm,
And and it turned out like this person had paid for this lesson, for that lesson, and blah blah. And I was like, why don't you just come from within? Let authenticity be your teacher and your guide. Repeat that behavior. Make that an automatic response.
It's hard to unlearn, isn't it? Or no?
No, it's hard to step into the first action around it.
Okay.
And here's why. The ego loves to pretend it's being vulnerable and transformed and transparent. I was talking with a woman yesterday. She was going through my human design chart, and I told her there is nothing worse than a spiritualized ego. And the reason why we were talking about that is because she saw what I'm supposed to bring to the world, the work that I'm supposed to be doing. And she's like the third person to look at me and say, why are you not on a stage in front of thousands? And I said, because the identity that wanted to go out there and do that, I was not doing that to humanity, nor was I doing that to my life. I know I have all of the things that would could attract and do all that. I knew that, but it could not be at the expense of my life and humanity, where I'm just going to stand out there and deliver a message through layers and layers of fakeness.
mhm,
And what happens after that on the other side of that, and I know because I've known people like that. I've known ministers like that. I've known teachers, higher education people, like that's just human. I've known people that are trapped inside of that. And then afterwards, they can't talk to anyone. They can't be with anyone. They got to get out. They have to get away because they can't hold that mask up any longer.
mhm.
It's not who we are. It's not.
And
You
if you're
want to say something
someone,
about that?
yeah, if you're somebody like myself, like Dr. Carey, whose spirit irritates people's demons, mm, yeah. I mean, Kathleen, I see you laughing probably by identification, but I'm
I
telling
get
you,
it.
I can tell. I'm telling you, when you get to a certain place, ladies, if you're not already there, and it ebbs and flows, okay? There's nothing linear about this, but when you really take on you, and the identity is not your enemy. Yeah, it needs ass whooping every once in a while, but it's not the enemy. But when you take on loving and owning all of you and then have it work for you, not against you, and you show up for with people described just like Dr. Carey just described, oh no, it's not going to be pretty because what you are is a mirror. When we take this on, when we make this choice, when we choose a side, there's all kind of stuff that comes in that we don't even realize until we're there. Okay, you guys show up every Monday. Y'all have chosen a side whether you realize it or not. Just saying. So if stuff is coming up, it's coming up because it's in the way of your love and liberation, right? So that includes habits, that includes uh, descriptions about ourselves. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, I used to talk about how I hate marketing. I hate, like, and I used to hate word. And I took that on, right? Because to have that type of energetic attachment to a thing, that means it's got me. I don't have it. So I took it on from, and I first thing I did was I stopped the habit of saying I hate marketing and sales. What I say is I used to hate marketing and sales. So I just flip it just a little as we go on the process, right? But it when you disrupt, and again, this slide is always perfect, it gentle disruption, gentle. That does not mean calling yourself out, calling yourself names. It does not mean a harsh whiplash effect on you. You should have known better. I know you know better. You've been like, how do I know all those things? Because guess what? I deal with those too, right? But it is a gentle disruption. Do I need to say it again? Gentle. Okay, I'm done.
Yes, you do need to say it again.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you're a major jerk.
Yes. 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 I've
You,
had to threaten people, be like, if you were to talk to me the way you're talking to you, baby, we be in a throwdown right now. Stop that.
yeah.
Right.
So, it's something you said like about choosing a side. And um, yesterday there was a woman, she was going through my human design chart, and oh my gosh, she was nailing it. Like, so it helped me so much, right? And because Amaya just said it, there's something about me, it offsets something in other people. And it used to have me like pull back, but even if I pull back, it's still there. And
Mhm.
all kind of crap comes with it,
Mhm.
right? Like people really don't know what to make of me and all of that. And you might be holding yourself back for similar reasons. But get this, she just said it, and so did this woman say it to me yesterday. She said, "You're just reflecting back to people their own worst qualities, their own fears." She said, "That's one of your roles here." She said, "When people are uncomfortable around you, they don't know that it's because universe is saying, look at yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
And
the
it's not
issues,
fun, you guys. But
it's
guess what?
not,
But
it's
guess what?
not.
It's necessary. It's necessary.
But if you have a calling like that that puts you in the path of humanity and you're dealing with that, you may have a habit, and this is why I'm mentioning it, of shrinking, because that's what I was doing. And then it was like, I can't shrink any more than I have already to try and accommodate people in their mess. I'm exhausted. I'm done. Right. And that was just like me rebelling against something out of exhaustion, learning, oh no, that's what's happening. That's part of how I'm servicing humanity, is giving them an opportunity to see what's unhealed, to
Hmm.
see what what they have that's self-loathing, right? If you have a calling or a ministry, or
Hmm.
and you're someone that disrupts, most likely you've got that. And that means even more, you're going to be required to stand in the space of authenticity and
Hmm.
love and generosity and
Hmm.
tolerance of humanity. And you
Yeah.
can't do any of that if you're doing it from a place of brokenness and fakeness and all of the nesses.
Yes.
So the ego's logic, the habit wasn't wrong when it started. It was just there to protect you. What was it protecting? That's the question to ask, right? I know I became Miss Neural Geek, Professor, above it all, above all things sports, recreation, and play,
Mm-hmm.
just because, of my um non-outstanding abilities in those areas. I don't want to climb monkey bars. I'm not good at it. So I'm just going to be too smart for that. I don't want to race kids and play basketball and all of that. And I'm not an athlete, too serious for that. Those are the kind of things that begin to create a you. So I remember going back and getting that little girl that made that decision, and I've shared this before. That was the biggest discovery of my life. That all of the mean things that I thought other people were saying about that little girl, I was saying them. I was saying them. I was the bully. So ego's logic is like, let me protect you and let me, in the process, create these survival things. So fear of visibility, fear of visibility, people pleasing, perfectionism, avoidance. Why did it make sense? I mean, these are things I just made up, but it once kept you safe. Nobody could see you.
You could even add humor, right? You could add, you know, the actions of people getting other people together because then it takes the focus off of them, right? Like that's why I said the ego is not bad, y'all. It is the protection that we needed when we were little and didn't know. We didn't know, right?
No.
And so it was there doing a service. We are alive and semi-sane. I'm speaking for myself, right? So this is why it's like, no, no, this is just a part that has to be grown up with us
And mastered.
and but mastered from a
I'm saying mastered as a neuroscientist.
got you.
You have mastered your ego performance,
Hmm.
so master the discipline of it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that
don't
right
believe
there.
it's bad, but I think unchecked,
Oh,
it can
it's
hurt
hell.
you and
It's hell
others.
unchecked.
Yep.
Look, unchecked will cause damage, harm, death, literal death, physical death, right? Could all of those things. Because again, I don't know, how old is it, Carrie? Like, 3, 4, 5. Like it's a hurt little child in an adult body.
Yeah.
And it's distorted when it's like that. When it's not distorted, it's powerful, it's a lot of things, but it's distorted. And if we can understand that it was distorted because it was protecting us, but we've given our power to it unknowingly, because that's the water that we've swum in, we're saying we're taking the blinders off. We're saying go from unconscious ego riding to conscious ego riding. Let's be conscious about it first, because once you see it, you can't unsee it.
No.
Once you see it, you can address it. Once you see it, you can acknowledge, release, bless. You can do all the things. But if you can't see it, there's nothing you can do.
And guys, I'm here to tell you when you become the leader of your life instead of a default network in your brain that wired in order to protect you from, perceived threats, because that's why you don't need to be in love with this thing. It's not you. It's something that wired in your brain and
Mhm.
began to use your face, your mouth, your you, your container, right, to serve itself.
Keep itself alive, right?
Exactly.
That's like the AI
It's
models
just a
now.
network. Exactly. It's just a network,
Hmm.
right? And if you think of yourself as an operating system, right? I remember I could not figure out why my laptop had slowed down the way that it did. So I hired this service and they came on, you give them control and they're going through your computer and this and that. And they found out that somebody had put a back door into my system and created two profiles and were using it and had like videos and document and I didn't even know,
Dang.
right? So they cleared it out and all of the profiles that they created, I didn't know because they were duplicates of me. They had different pictures of me in there. Like it was crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So it's our brains work exactly like a computer, a operating system. It's the same thing. Why? Because it's created and modeled after the human brain. And if you think about the ego, that network will then now start to wire different masks of you. This is me at home. This is
Mhm.
me at work.
Mhm.
This is me driving, right? And they're
This
just
is
all
me
these,
in a relationship. This is
yeah,
me with my kids. This is
yeah,
like, and we put it on like a coat. That this is me at Gigi. This is mom. This is, we put it on like, oh, let me put this on. Now I'm Gigi.
right.
Right? Now I'm this.
But
And there's
now,
nothing wrong with it if you're conscious though, right? As Carrie started
well, it
off.
is just you have to start to look at what piece of brokenness is it
Mm-hmm.
attached to?
Mm-hmm.
What came with it? You can get to what is truly your personality.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we don't have personalities,
Right.
but the one that is tied to the boy didn't dance with you, or he left you, he stood you up, or, whatever it is that caused you to then turn around and morph into something else,
Right.
that's just protection.
Right.
And this is why that one can't go and get your money because it's not you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if it does go and get anything in the way of your vision, it's only to fulfill and satisfy that ego's need that's still tied to your brokenness.
Mm-hmm.
See, every time I got hurt or offended, then I shifted. And eventually I was navigating life being resourceful, powerful, and independent. There's very few people that know me to be any different than that. But what they didn't know is that those were just personas that had accumulated, right, out of
Mm-hmm.
heartbreak. But now getting to my true self, am I powerful? I am, but I'm powerful inside of who I am in love,
Mm-hmm.
who I am in generosity, and just my calling.
Mm-hmm.
That's the clearing that we want to invite you all to step into today, right? What is big enough to stand in for the habit, not to fight it, but to outgrow it. That's what Amaya was saying.
You got to evolve it
To
up, right?
mature, to
Right.
integrate it.
Yes. Yes. And that includes going to and this is all nervous system work, y'all, at the same time, right? But it includes going back to that 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever the ages are, and actually having a conversation, a loving, not logical, loving conversation with the little you that is what regardless to why or how that's stuck right there in your nervous system that starts talking the smack that the ego comes in and goes, let me protect whatever, whatever. You just got to grow that piece up. You got to integrate, recalibrate that little you into big you. There's no forcing. There's only gentle love and invitation and acknowledgement, right? But that's the work. That
Yep.
will give you entirely new interactions and relationship with your identity.
Yep. And it's interesting too. I remember um reaching out to 7-year-old me to have a conversation, and it was tough. My therapist really didn't know what he was gonna do because he was like, so have her sit down in front of you. And I was like, she's sitting there. And he was like, what's going on? I was like, I don't like this kid. And and he looked like, because most people are gonna start with, oh, I'm so sorry I left you behind. And I'm not even like that with my own kids. I'm like, what are you crying for? Right? I'm like, what are you crying for? You're not a baby. You're an old soul in there, a human being. Come here and talk to me. And then people wonder why my kids are so, grown up, right? I don't do baby talk. So I'm sure in the heck not going to do it with 7-year-old me. It was a reason why I killed her off in the first place. Clearly, I didn't like her. And that's what you are avoiding,
Mm,
the way you really feel about yourself.
yeah.
And then, oh no, it's everybody else. Oh no, it's everybody else and what they did. No, it's what you did that caused you to fracture. Because the moment that you accepted any thought about yourself, that's what you did. It wasn't the bullies, it was you. And you're still doing it to yourself. You still don't like yourself. And your body isn't good enough. And your hair won't do right. And I got to buy this. And I got to be ready for that. Every purchase you make is your soul saying inside, please pay attention to what you're doing with your money and your life. Can't you see that every last bit of it, this house, that car, everything is you screaming to the world, I'm not enough. and I don't like myself. Let me fix it with this. Stop hurting yourself and be honest with yourself. And that's where I had to start. Hey, kid, I don't like you. You're way too whiny. You're this, you're that. And I may as well have had that conversation because I had been pushing her down for like 50 years,
Mhm.
pushing her away, speaking on stages. And then I don't want to talk to anybody afterwards because she might come out. I'm not liberated. The reason why I can step out and be anywhere with anybody is not because I'm some bold, powerful, all the no, it's because I'm comfortable just being me and I'm not shrinking anymore. And I don't want you to either. It's time to come all the way out. See, the ego, and this is what Amaya's been pointing to, it can't be, right, defeated, right? Not with your ego. Willpower is still ego. You need a bigger container than that. And it starts, I love you, Heather. That was so cool. I saw you. It starts with love, purpose, and calling, right? Taking it on like your mission, what you're really here to do. And if it scares you, you can see in that moment that it frightens you what you reach for. You, the mask, is going to reach for a new outfit, is going to reach for alcohol, drugs, is going to reach for sex, is going to reach for something in the material world to try and ground itself.
Mhm.
And the more that we bring love and purpose and all of that and put it in front of it, the more it's not about killing the ego. It's about overriding it and putting it in its proper place and living a soul-led life. But if your ego is the one trying to even achieve those higher purposes and those higher frequencies, you won't get there. And I watch so many people. This is why we want to talk about it. Guys, this is me like calling you in the name of love. Let us help you. Find out what you need to find out to do the work, to heal, to be whole. Stop tolerating that, living your life for you, your masquerade. And there's never been a better time to stand in that place because guess what? The God of the universe is sifting every human right now. That's why the earth beneath us feels so unstable. Why your BS isn't really serving you. Because you already know that you're being sifted, but it's so uncomfortable letting go of one's BS, of your mask. It's so uncomfortable. The ripping, the stripping.
But
But
that's why
you're
we
here
gotta
with a
have,
community that loves you,
yeah. But that's the whole reason of having the larger container, y'all. This goes right back to our original conversation of what is it that is makes a difference to effectively move through life right now, right? With all the, you know, alien invaders
right?
and stuff, right? The larger container, whatever that is, for me, it's not mortal. It's not. It's not 3D. It's
It's
not
not.
mortal at
That's
all.
what we're saying here.
Right.
It's higher love, it's higher
Mhm.
purpose, it's deeper truth,
Mhm.
right? And those things will melt the old context away. That's the prize. I don't live the life. that needs or requires that mask. The
Mm-mm.
life that I live now, right, is bigger than that, has more purpose to that. So it was the more I moved toward my calling, the more the powerful, awesome, fake version of me disappeared. And I just am. That's what I want for you. I just am. I just am that. I just am. Do you get that? I just am. I'm not powerful. I'm not smart. I'm not, I'm, I just am. I am that. What I need to be when, now, right now, in this
Yeah.
moment,
Like
I
letting
am
go of trying to put it
love.
all in containers. Yeah. It just is. Yeah.
Just is. What's needed and wanted. I am. I am that right now in this moment. I want you to try that on. You're still not getting it. I want you to try that on. I am. Say it. I
I
am.
am.
I
Don't
am.
say I am enough because that means you're measuring yourself. I just am. I just am. Yeah, Kathy's got it, man. Looking liberated like all get out.
Hey, Carrie, I wanted to add something to that. We talk about this a lot.
You look great, by the way. I love the journey.
Thank you. Um, we talk when you're saying I am, we talk a lot, and I just was listening to an audiobook this weekend, and it's like, um, it's not what we're doing, it's who we're being. And so that plays into like exactly what you're saying. If you're I am, it's who you're being, and that's going to make the impact in the world, not all the stuff you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And you look this one right here, it's so hard when I told a client the other day, beautiful young woman, she has a daughter, and she started saying like right now, like my daughter is my only priority, because we were talking literally about breaking old habits. And this slide here, what vision, what calling, what love is large enough to make the old habit irrelevant? And I told her, I was like, I'm sorry, love for your family, your immediate family, and your daughter is tiny, and it's not going to move you away from you and all of your bull. It's not. Your daughter probably adores you, at least right now, right? That's coming from some stuff that happened with me and my daughter, right? Like, and at least right now, and people like you, my priority is my family. My priority is my church community and this and that. Your love isn't big enough. I'm sorry. Did I just say that? Yeah, I just said that. It's not big enough. It's not big enough.
It
I
doesn't mean
remember
those things are ignored. It just
Right.
means they roll up into what is the large thing that will make all the discomfort worthwhile.
she said that I didn't, because I'm not giving you any participation points today.
Hmm?
I'm calling you out because I am here to do that. And I'm not hiding from it anymore. You're playing small with your love. You think killing off most of the population is you having boundaries. No, you're just a killer. And it's just about you. And you're a consumer of life and not a contributor. Am I talking to you individuals? No, I'm talking to that universal dark energy that's out there trying to deposit itself into a community of people that I said I would lead and be accountable for and love and liberate. And I'm not backing down. I'm not. And I'm not going to watch my words because if you don't know by now, I show up every Monday because I love you. then I don't know what else to tell you. Because I'm sure in the heck not getting up at 5 a.m. because I don't. And I want you to be free. I want you to be free from that thing so you can do what you're supposed to do. And it's listening and it's thinking about what I'm saying and all that kind of stuff. That's just more of it. And if your love does not extend beyond your address, right, then you got some work to do. I'm not saying you're bad, you're evil. What I'm saying is that you are not prepared for the vision that you have. And that's why it's not there, because your love isn't big enough. Your vision is for a big, audacious love, a global love, a connected love. Because God that created all, right, knows your true intent for when you get what you're going to get. All those promises you keep making, you're going to end world hunger and all of that kind. No, you're not. You're gonna like let unhealed, unfinished you get a hold of it and try and stuff more material things into your big old hole. And he's just saying, no, no more. That's why everything is so delayed now, so that you can be well, so that you can unleash. So you have that handout, right? And I want you to look at this week. What vision, what calling, what love is large enough to make the old habit of me irrelevant so that the real me can come out? That's where it's all going to happen. Kathy broke open, and I know all of the reasons why she broke open. Like she said, like she was arising at the work that she went, like she would approach it. I mean, she would approach the work that she's here to do, the work that really matters to her, the message that she wants to put out there to humanity. And just like Dorothy on that yellow brick road, she encountered some things, didn't you, Kathy? Right?
Of course.
And it happened a couple of times, but now girlfriend has chose a side, and you can just see it. And Kathy, I don't think I've ever seen your face turned up as much as I have the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And when I had a conversation with her about what she's doing, and you guys are going to hear more in the next couple of weeks. But when we had that conversation about what it was, not once did she say anything that she was doing was for her. I want people to know. That's what she kept saying. And I want people to understand. And I was recording it so that we can, build some things together. And I just decided to look and used find. And how many times did she say, I want people? And it was 27 times in 1 hour.
Mm.
She didn't know she was going to be a part of this today. But she made
Making me
herself a
you're
part
making
of
me
it
tear
with
up.
her way of being and how she showed up. Yeah, that's somebody ready. And you're all right there. It's time to go. So work on your document and hook today's conversation on to last week's conversation when we were talking about the wonderful world of us. I know how it can be to be afraid to step into authenticity and to step into transparency and to step into love. I know about that, all of that. I understand it. But you don't get to park here because you're here for a reason. And the calling is now. Now is the time, right? And you're not alone. That's what we're all about. We're here to bridge those opportunities and share successes. That's what it means to be a boss. That you won't try and going along and strong suit it and outshine your sisters and all of that other old insane stuff we've seen. That's not us. That's not what we do. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. Amaya, you want to say anything? Any final departing?
The only thing I'll say is this, there's no graduation. There's no, oh, I've arrived, right? This is a spiral process and and we're also human. Yes, we're divine and we're human. So things are gonna happen that you were like, oh, I didn't do, whatever. Look, just don't give up. Okay. Just don't give up. Don't settle. Don't throw up your hands and be like, well, I guess I tried. That's just, I mean, you can if you want to. I'm not going to fight you for you. If you fight for your limitations, baby, you got them. I'm not going to come find you if you want to hold on to them. I'm just not. I got my own stuff that I got to deal with, right? But if we link arms, all we got to do is link arms because if you stumble, we got you. Just don't stop. That's all. Sometimes you got to get carried. Sometimes you'll inch along. Just don't stop.
Don't stop.
Mhm.
Bye, everyone.
Love
Thank you
y'all.
guys. Thank you. Appreciate you.
I have one thing to share before we
Yeah.
go. That
Do
goes
it.
with Amaya saying when she was saying we're linking arms. I remember we did a cold plunge in Bear Lake in January and it was windy. So it was like -14 in a frozen lake. And what happened is the whole team of us got, we walked down and we all linked arms to walk into the water together. And it was such a, that way everyone like was together. So nobody was left on the shore waiting to go in. Nobody fell in the lake. Like we just walked in together and walked out together. And that was part of the amazing experience is just having people to lean on and be in that extremely cold space with you. So like the same in life, like if we're linked arms and we're going through something that's really terrifying and freezing, then it's great to remember our community and we can link arms with everyone.
The importance of
Beautifully said.
community, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. The
We're not in
importance
it
of
alone.
community and
Yeah.
and reaching out to that community,
Mhm.
being okay saying like, I just need you right now.
Mhm.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Oh,
You got something you want to share?
Quick question.
Dawn. Okay.
Amaya, say what you said again about limitations. I'm not going to fight for your limitations. What did you say? Because I want to write that
Well, I said, if you fight for your limitations, you're going to
down.
get them. I'm
You'll
not going to
win.
fight you for your limitations.
Right.
Because
Got
if
it.
you're fighting for them, game's over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brilliant.
If
Thank you.
you fight for your limitations, know you will win. I
Mhm.
always picture like tug of war. I'll tug for just, a couple of times, right? Because I know sometimes you have to stand for a person, right? But if
Mhm.
you keep pulling everything, I just let go,
Mhm.
right? And not to be mean, it's just
Mhm.
you're not ready.
Well,
So why
plus
should I
it's
keep pulling?
it's also
For
being
real.
personally responsible, right? Because multiple times I have gone in to save somebody, right? I got pulled in. I got pulled down. I had
Yeah.
to recover. So it's really truly not that I don't love y'all, and y'all is the worldly y'all, right?
Yeah.
I'm responsible for me.
Hmm.
I cannot abdicate that responsibility ever. And that includes knowing when I don't have it to give, you're going to pull me in with you and I can't. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
can't. Come on out a little further. I got you, but I can't go under
Yeah.
cuz
Right.
I'm responsible for me.
And that it's interesting because I can remember when I realized that those opportunities that came up to assist people that were resistant and in their head and whatever they're doing over there, because it's just really all coming from fear. When I realized that it's never one-sided, it was also a dual opportunity for me to
Mhm.
learn to set boundaries.
Mhm.
And then, especially, I would say, um, 15 or so years ago, I would allow a lot of chaos and distractions in my life from other people because I was avoiding my own life,
Mhm.
my own calling, right? Let me help this person. Let me do this or do that. And so I didn't have to be responsible for bringing forth what I'm here to bring forth because I'm all entangled over here with somebody else's drama. So, boundaries, that's a good thing to have. and also question your own motives for moving towards someone that you got to help and everything. What are you really allowing yourself to be called off of when you're doing that, right? And that's going to help you to know when you should authentically be moving towards someone in assistance. And a lot of times I make recommendations. People will call me and what they're dealing with, and I'll say, I'm not the one you should talk to. You should talk to Dawn Norton because you got trauma and it's sitting in your body. That's part of bridging our opportunities and sharing successes. We don't have to take everything on. Maybe, that person would be better off if they spoke with Audra. You need to breathe a little bit more.
Mhm.
Or Sue, maybe you need to express yourself artistically or something like that. Stop. My point is we should all stop thinking as like just individual, even in service to one another. Think about us as a collective and who might be better represented in service to another individual,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Love
Anyone else? Going once, going twice. I
I was
love
thinking of
that. Oh, Audra.
I was thinking about the masks and the coats you guys were talking about wearing, and they come in all forms. Like when I go to the hospital, I put on the mask of nurse.
you. Hmm.
When I'm at home, I put on the mask of mom
Hmm.
or wife or whatever. And I was just sitting here thinking, it's really important to take them off when we're not using them. Those kinds anyway.
Yeah,
Hmm.
They don't
right.
fuse to your face like Jim Carrey's mask.
That was a good movie.
Hmm.
The Mask. Because remember, it was expressing who he really, whatever was really inside of you, kind of like the opposite. But yeah, that was kind of profound now that I think about it. All right. The masks are exhausting. We all agree. We're going to take them off this week, right? Okay. Bye, everyone.
Hi,
Thank
y'all.
you,
Love
ladies.
you.
Love you.